Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kira, and I'm originally from the UK. I did my bachelor's degree here at HKUST as well in biotechnology. So I've been at the university for a few years now, and I'm now a third-year PhD candidate in an imaging lab that uses zebrafish as a model organism to study skeletal muscle development. So these are the really adorable little zebrafish embryos, and this is where we keep the zebrafish. Here's a photo of me and my lab mates, and I'm very fortunate to have met some really nice people in my lab. And I hope that whether you meet them in person or online over Zoom, that they become kind of like your second family here in Hong Kong. And if you're already on campus or you're not here yet, I highly recommend you to get some breakfast from LG1 when you are here, because in the morning around 8:30, 9 o'clock, they make fresh bread and they're still warm from the oven. So you can get one and go sit on the terrace outside of LG1 and you can see the sea view. So that's, you can think about the meaning of life or why you decided to pursue a PhD. But anyways, in the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to attend many local conferences and workshops because HKUST has many close ties with other universities in the area. So in my first year, I didn't present any of my own work. I was still in the process of learning techniques, collecting data, but I did get to attend some conferences to support my lab mates and see what my peers are doing. And if you get the opportunity, I would highly recommend to attend some local conferences first before you attend a big international conference. Because for me, it was a little bit scary to stand in front of my poster and talk about your work when you know the audience is a scientific audience and they know exactly what you're talking about. And if you make a mistake, it can be quite daunting. So it's good practice, and I would highly recommend attending a local conference if you get the chance. Also, HKUST has there are many events that take place throughout the year in Hong Kong, and HKUST often have these free invitations to students to attend. For example, I got to attend the Human Genome Editing Summit, which I thought was quite a historical moment because this was where the news that the human babies with edited genomes was announced by He Jiankui. And it was quite an eye-opening experience to see him in person and to hear him talk about what he had to say. But being able to see some of the pioneers of CRISPR and gene editing in person was a really cool experience for me. So don't miss out on any opportunities and events that take place throughout the year in Hong Kong. And last year, I got to attend my first big international conference. It was the 14th International Conference, Zebrafish Conference, and it took place in Suzhou. And I got to attend with my lab mates, and he took me to eat lots of good food. And the good thing about attending conferences is your supervisor might buy you dinner, so that's really nice. And while the situation this year might not be ideal for traveling, the good news is that you can spend this year collecting data and learning things so that in your second year, when you have more to present, you could attend an overseas conference. And whether you are a PhD student or an MPhil student, as long as you're a full-time research student, you will get a lot of support from the research travel grant to attend overseas conferences. So this will be up to 3 times for PhD students and once for MPhil students. But you're only eligible for this if you are presenting something like a poster or an oral presentation. And they typically cover 100% of your expenses, accommodation and travel, but there are some specifications as to where you book your flights from. And you have to make sure that you get all the receipts and everything and all the documents. So be sure to check the RTG website for any details. And you have to submit the application before you go and complete a follow-up when you return. So that's really important in order to get reimbursed. There's some other funds that you could also apply for throughout your studies here. For example, the Overseas Research Award and the Greater Bay Research Award. So this is great if your professor, for example, has a collaboration with another university and they would like you to go to another lab to receive training or learn a new technique for 2 to 6 months. And then you can apply for this fund and you will be given some money on top of your regular studentship. So that's great for supporting any of the living expenses that you might incur while you're overseas. But this is only eligible for PhD students after you've completed your qualifying examination. But if that's an opportunity that arises, make sure to check out the websites for details about these funding schemes. Another highlight for me during my last 2 years here was when I got to attend a summer course at TU Delft on the ethics of new biotechnologies. And I got to go on this course because HKUST is part of the Aspire League, which is an alliance between five universities in Asia, including HKUST, KIST in Korea, Tsinghua, and there's some other universities as well. And part of this alliance allows students of the Aspire League to join summer courses organized by the IDEA League in Europe. And those universities include Zurich, Chalmers, Aachen in Germany, Polytechnic Milan, and TU Delft, of course. And they offer a range of courses on a range of subjects, and the course fees are waived. The accommodation is provided. So if you would like to take a break throughout your research degree and you just need a little travel trip, but you would also like it to be a learning opportunity, don't miss out on any opportunities to attend this summer course when the situation is better. And I made a lot of good friends, and I got to learn from the professors who are at the top of their field, but in another university. So it's a great experience, and I would highly recommend it. Something else that might be useful for you during this period of time, if you are a research student like me in the field of life science, chemistry, or bioengineering, would be to check out the Biosciences Central Facility website. And you can check out what instruments they have to see if you want to use them for your experiments. And for example, if I wanted to use the qPCR machine, I needed to attend an online course where I watched a couple of YouTube videos to learn how to use the machine, and then I'll pass a survey, and then that way they will allow me to book and use the machine. And also if you want to use some instruments in the, for example, the transmission electron microscope, I needed to take a self-learning course administered by the Health and Safety Office on pressure safety. And these are some self-learning courses that you can just do online, and you can get them out of the way before you start your experiments. And since they may be mandatory, it's good to get them over with as soon as possible. I would also like to share that HKUST has a very wonderful counseling and wellness center. So they're located on the 5th floor on top of lift 3. And if you're anything like me, and in my first year here, I was quite homesick. It took me a while to make a couple of group of friends that I felt really comfortable around. And if you're feeling down, or if the research isn't going the way you planned and you just would like to talk to somebody, feel free to reach out to their student counselors. Or in case you're not here, but you would still like to talk to somebody, they also have a 24-hour hotline that you can call, and the student helpers will be there, the student counselors will be there to talk to you and help you get through any problems that you might be facing. Apart from personal counseling, they also have other stress relieving activities that they organize throughout the year, such as yoga. I think they had recently an online Zoom yoga session. And they also bring in therapy dogs sometimes, and you can go and pet the dogs. And I find that when I'm in a better mood, my experiments always seem to go more smooth. So I think making your mental health a priority is really important in the ups and downs of research life. And HKUST has a great support system for this. So don't hesitate to talk to them and reach out to them if you would like to. And on another note, you've probably realized that language courses, English language courses, are a component of your curriculum. And this is the case whether or not you are a native speaker or not. For example, I took Language 5010, which teaches you the basics of thesis writing for science students. And the good thing about these courses is that the class sizes are very small, and you get to meet RPGs from other departments. Normally you're working in the lab and you only meet people in the same area. So in these courses, you get to make some friends from other departments, and it's great. But also, if you would like to learn a foreign language, the Center for Language Education offers a variety of foreign language courses. One of my close friends, for example, took a course on Korean, and they also have Cantonese courses as well. Some are credit bearing and some are non-credit bearing, and depending on whether or not they're credit bearing, they are refundable courses or free courses. So you can check out the website for the Center for Language Education if you would like to learn a foreign language. And I think that's all I'll be sharing with you for now. Thank you very much for listening, but if you've got any questions, feel free to send me an email and I'll try my best to help you out. And I look forward to seeing you around campus soon. Thank you very much.